Hey everyone, my name is Meera. Welcome back to my channel. This video has been long overdue, but I've been craving a good 5-star read. I don't know why. Most of the books that I've been reading over the course of the past year or so have just been moderately enjoyable reads. Even if I'm super thrilled after reading the synopsis and I feel like I'm going to love this book, something about the reading experience falls short of being exceptional. It's not like anything has changed in my reading choices or tastes. I'm reading the same kinds of books, the same genres, but I am yet to find a book which I feel like deserves more than 5 stars. You know how some books you read and you just can't contain your enthusiasm for them, or you feel like 5 stars? Wait, this book deserves the world. I haven't come across a book like that in a long while. Sure, there are a lot of books that I have enjoyed thoroughly in the past few months and so on, but nothing that I felt like I love from the bottom of my heart. You know what I mean? I don't know if any of you have been feeling that way. Have I just been reading too many books and now become jaded? So nothing really surprises me anymore. Nothing feels new or exceptional or just wonderful. I don't know. It just, maybe I'm not intentionally picking 4 to 5 star rated books on Goodreads, but I've never really done that before either. So I don't know what's different these days about my reading. I'm still excited to read. Of course, it's not like I'm losing my interest in reading, as you can see. Well, all of this to say that I've been craving for a good 5-star read, and I don't know what to do to find it. If you've ever felt this way, comment below and let me know how you got past this. Anyhow, so here's me thinking back to some 5-star reads that to this day remain my favorite books. If you watch this video till the end and you realize that you may know of a book that I would love from the bottom of my heart, please do comment and let me know, because as you can probably make out, I really need to discover some great reads. The first book I'm going to be talking about is Animal Farm by George Orwell. I read this back in 2019. This is a solid 500-star book. It's quite short, so you can definitely finish it in a couple of hours. This is a satire on the Russian Revolution, where the author personifies animals on a farm, the manor farm. When the animals realize that humans are evil and corrupted, they attempt to overthrow the farm owner. What I love the most about this book is how clever the writing is. The author doesn't shy away from peeling back the layers of pretension and greed as a way of mirroring reality, as a way of mirroring our human society. Although the animals in this book despise humans, the irony is that by the end of this tale, they pick up the most common human vices. Also, it's something that I have noticed that books that send across a strong social message, I tend to find those a lot more impactful when I'm reading them. The next book is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is not a surprise that it's on this list. It is one of the most beautiful, and when I say beautiful, I don't mean beautiful in lowercase, but beautiful in uppercase. This is one of the most beautiful and heart-rending stories that I've read. I immensely enjoy reading Greek mythology, and in my opinion, The Song of Achilles remains one of the best books in this category. After reading this, I also read Circe, only to realize that I will forever read anything and everything that Madeline Miller writes. The writing style in this book is poetic and lyrical, but also not in such a way that it takes away from the action or from moving the plot forward. All of it happens in the most beautifully serene way. So you get swept away in Miller's writing, and before you know it, the story is over and you're sitting there bawling your eyes out. At least, maybe some of you are. This is the story of Patroclus and Achilles, but it's also so much more than just that. It's about kings and gods, politics, love, and the futility of battles fought over power. Initially, when you pick up the book, you might feel like there are a lot of characters, figures from Greek mythology that make an appearance in this book. But you don't have to worry or you don't have to get overwhelmed, because the ones that truly matter to the story, the ones that have a more substantial presence, will stick with you by the end of this book. I have read a few other Greek mythological titles too, but I feel like Madeline Miller sort of has a place at the top of the list in terms of the way she writes these stories, what they come to mean to the reader. It's just beautiful, brilliant. 5 stars, not enough. 1,000 stars. Next, A Face Like Glass by Frances Harding. This is one of those amazing fantasy standalone novels that everyone should know about. When you talk about fantasy, usually a lot of different series, trilogies are the ones that come up in your mind, but standalones, it's quite rare to come across a standalone that does justice to the genre. And Frances Harding is great at wrapping up a story while giving it the depth of the fantasy genre and making the characters matter, telling a story that people would want to share with others. It is set in an underground world where people are born with blank faces, in the sense that they don't have the ability to depict emotions or show expressions. It can only be taught by people in that society called face smiths. And the higher up in society you are, the higher the class, the more range of emotions you have in your repertoire. Although the protagonist in this novel is a 12-year-old girl named Neverfell, I feel like this book is perfect for people of all ages, simply because of the themes it tackles, the action, the adventure, the underlying message about freedom and fighting for what you care about. The author's writing is so vivid that it's been, I think, a couple of years since I read it, and there are scenes that are still so clear in my mind from this book. I loved the writing, the characters, the story overall. There's just so much to love about this book. Not a single dull moment, as you can probably make out. Even just thinking about this book fills my heart with joy. It is a multi layered fantasy that I feel like everyone should pick up. And of course, it deserves more than just 5 stars. The fourth book is In Order to Live by Pak Hyun Mi. This is a non-fiction book, a memoir about a family's pursuit of freedom and the heart-rending difficulties that they have to go through. It is split into 3 parts. The writing is very raw and honest. I read this last year and it's an easy 5-star read for me, not just because of how it's written, but simply the act of telling this story in itself is a commendable feat, and it deserves all the praise, all the attention. It's about Pak Yeon-mi and her family attempting to escape North Korea and the journey that they have to take to go through China and finally arrive in South Korea. It's a dark story, so I'm not sure that it's suitable for everyone. There are some topics that you might need trigger warnings for. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, but the moment I flipped the first page of this book, I knew I was going to be immersed in the story. The author's writing style is very simple and straightforward, and yet it pulls you in. I would highly recommend this book to those who enjoy reading nonfictions. The last book I'm going to be talking about is Heroine by Mindy McGinnis. This is a YA novel that is written with such sensitivity and grace. It is about a softball player who battles substance addiction. What I loved the most about this book is the way in which the author shows us how an individual has the ability to change the entire trajectory of someone else's life and the far reaching consequences of this. The author does not take a moral stance, despite how heavy and possibly upsetting the topics in this novel are. While reading it, it doesn't leave a bad taste in your mind. You learn to recognize how everyone is going through their own emotional struggles. You learn to understand how different people have their own insecurities, and we can never know what's going on in someone's mind. I love that there are themes of found family in this book. It is made even more of a compelling read because very rarely do you find YA novels that show you what the teenager is going through, even while describing the disconnect between them and their parents or them and other people in their lives. So by highlighting Mickey's vulnerabilities and creating a space of healing and recovery, I feel like the author has done a brilliant job with this book. When I read it, for days I could not stop thinking about it. And even now, if anyone asked me what is a YA book that you would recommend, Heroine is definitely one of the first titles that I'd mention. Okay, so before I end this video, a couple of quick mentions. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware is a great one. It is a chilling read, very atmospheric. It's very rare that a book can spook me, but this one did that job brilliantly. So great plot execution there. Secondly, The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. Loved the author's storytelling, the writing style. Also, there's a sense of simmering female rage throughout the book, and Draupadi's character voice has been very well etched out. So, loved it. Goat Days by Benjamin. This is also a heart-rending story. Benjamin's writing style, although simple, has the power to keep you engrossed. And lastly, My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton, and Jodie Meadows. A great story. I loved the female main character. Also, the three authors' writing makes you want to just sit down with the book all day long. Now that you know what are some of my all-time favorite reads and books that I would rate 1,000 stars, please recommend similar titles in the comments below. I really miss the feeling of reading a book that just goes above and beyond and makes for a splendid reading experience. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope all of y'all are doing great. I will see you soon with another video. Promise. Bye.